Figured I would class it up a little bit this week because we're talking Champions League and what has been a record-setting season for Americans in that competition. You know, it reminds me of an interesting story. When I was at ESPN and there would be a record set, I'd always say, new record, and the coordinating producers say, it's not a new record, it's a record. You don't have to say new. And I'd sit there and go, but I like saying new. It's shiny and new, and it's not the old record. But technically, grammatically, it's supposed to be set a record, not a new record. Because the word record, anyway, I'm not going to bore you with that. But everything I am about to list off is a record, new record in Champions League for American participation. So I'm going to list them all off. All records, new records. 10 Americans named to Champions League rosters. 9 appeared in the group stages. 5 appeared on one day. 7 of them advanced to the knockout stages. And now the latest record, these 2 Americans in the final to be played on May 29th between Chelsea and Christian Pulisic, Captain America himself, and Manchester City and Zack Steffen, both of them from the great state of Pennsylvania. What an incredible day this has been. Now, obviously, these are not apples to apples. Christian Pulisic is a key member of Chelsea, and he scored the away goal at Real Madrid, essentially putting Chelsea through to the final, regardless of what happened in the final, because Real Madrid had scored, his goal was put in. And then it was a situation where he came off the bench. I was screaming on Twitter, as I do about Pulisic. He even said it. He came out on CBS Sports and he says, I've always have to prove myself. It was taken out of context a little bit, but that's what we do. He goes, I'm always having to prove myself, which I speak on his behalf. I'm tired of him always having to prove himself because he delivers. His only flaw is the injuries, and I've talked about it a lot here. So I know it's frustration, and I know Chelsea better treat him right because he's a star player and he's going to want to be treated as such, especially if he does something in this final. And please, heaven, Thomas Tuchel, don't get too cute on this because he should be in that final. So I'll go off on a little tangent here. A lot of people on Twitter and social media go, Thomas Tuchel, genius, as he saved Christian Pulisic and he gave him an impact off the bench. He assisted Mason Mount on the goal that sealed the deal, although it was, Chelsea ran him off the park. My argument would be, if Christian Pulisic had started that game, the game would have been over at halftime because everyone, Havertz, Werner scored a goal. Okay, great. He missed everything. He was offside here. Nobody could score a goal. Nobody could score a goal, except for the Werner goal. But it was like a scrappy goal off the crossbar. I would have argued, and I think I would have won that argument, but this is all hypothetical and water under the bridge at this point, that Christian Pulisic would have been an assassin like he was. He set the ball and he put it on a platter for Mason Mount. So I would have put him in from the beginning. He's in the final now, and I hope Thomas Tuchel looks to him because he could be not only a guy who plays in the final, he could be the most important player for a team. Chelsea have a shot here. Chelsea and Manchester City just played this weekend. Manchester City rested a lot of players. Chelsea rested some players, including Mason Mount, and Chelsea beat them. They still came out and beat them. And I would also say that Christian Pulisic was great in that game, doing things that no other player on the field can. I'm not saying this because he's American. I'm saying it because I'm seeing it with my own eyes. I've never said it about an American before because I haven't seen it, but I've seen it now. So we'll see that. Now, Zack Steffen, this is an amazing situation for him as he will go to the final, but he's the backup goalkeeper. But he has participated in some games for Man City, and what an incredible experience that is. He did play in a Champions League game December the 9th against Marseille, which was the final group game. So he has participated in this competition. He played in the League Cup final and helped win a trophy there. So he has not been an idle set of hands. But this is also a reminder that he needs to find a different club. He needs to play every day. Now with World Cup qualifying beginning, as an American, we need him. Because he looks like he's going to be the #1 keeper. Although if he stays on Man City, I would keep that competition open. I'd keep it open anyway. So Zack Steffen may become a Champions League winner, and no one can ever take that away. And that is something that will be for him for his remainder of his career. Maybe he does play. Something happens to Anderson. You don't know. But we imagine at some point Christian Pulisic is going to play, and he would be the first to play in a final. Now, there has been an American on the books Good old Jovan Karofsky, who I know very well. He was with Borussia Dortmund in 1997. He got a winner's medal, didn't come off the bench. Still, he was part of it. But no American has played in a final. You've had some close calls. And remember, all these Americans that are playing this year, this is going to be a regular occurrence, I think. Maybe not every year, but with some regularity, because we're moving in that direction. And it's good. DeMarcus Beasley played in a semifinal in 2005 for PSV Eindhoven. I forgot that PSV Eindhoven made a semifinal. DeMarcus Beasley played. Landon Donovan made it to the round of 16 when he had to go back to Leverkusen. Most of these episodes didn't really end well for Americans. He didn't really play another game after that. It was a mess. Leverkusen out. Tim Howard was the starting goalkeeper for Manchester United in 2003-2004. Didn't really go well, and he never got back to the Champions League as the starting goalkeeper. Jermaine Jones, and then there's a long list of guys who've popped in here and there, and that list grew exponentially here in 2020-2021. Now we have these two players, and we could be making an incredible... Christian Pulisic is going to make that history. Zack Steffen, I think, is going to get the winner's medal. But Christian Pulisic in this game, I hope he starts. I hope. It just... I don't even want to think about it. We have a lot of time. We'll preview that game. It's on May the 29th. As I record this, it's still in Istanbul, but they're trying to get it into London. Playing the game in London makes sense because both teams are English. But this is clearly a political move in my estimation, and using COVID as well. And obviously you want the players' safety, but at this point there's been so much travel going on. Why all of a sudden are we concerned about an outbreak here? Because Turkey is on the no-fly list. So the fans can't get back. The fans would have to go through a quarantine. So anyway, I won't get into that either, but I have my reservations about it. So we'll go into this situation, and we look at these guys being able to present themselves in the biggest game on the soccer calendar every year, the Champions League final. Regardless of who's in it, it's still big. And people would say it's two English clubs. It's still the biggest date, and we can't wait for it. What could happen beyond this? Who's going to appear next time? Maybe not Weston McKennie, because Juventus look like they're going to be in the Europa League. Whoa! That turned badly. We have Serginho Dest, certainly is possible. It's going to be an interesting offseason for Barcelona. I would imagine Dest is going to remain a part of that core. He was fantastic on the weekend in a tying effort for Barcelona. They need a win, but Dest was flying. He looked great. Gio Reyna, Dortmund are back into the Champions League spots. Dortmund made the quarterfinals. Maybe he moves somewhere else, but he's with these Champions League teams. And then the list goes on. Lille's going to be in the final. Maybe Tim Weah, Brendan Aronson. If he moves on for Red Bull Salzburg, maybe goes to Leipzig and he joins Tyler Adams, and maybe they make a big push under an American Jesse Marsch. So it's very optimistic with what is moving forward. I never thought I'd see this. We lived on scraps as Americans for our players in Europe, and specifically in the Champions League. I gave you the list. It's a small book. Neven Subotic, who grew up in Utah, did play in a Champions League final. He represents Serbia, but he could have represented the United States, and this would have ruined my whole piece here. I'd have had to record something else. But he now represents Serbia. That was the closest it's come until 2021. Enjoy this moment. And I know they don't watch this, but maybe they do. But best of luck, Christian Pulisic and Zack Steffen. Everybody is so proud of what you guys are doing. And go grab that ring. Christian, I think it's going to be a special day for you. Even if you come off the bench, maybe you have to come in and rescue the team, which you've done before. And I will tell you another big episode of the Soccer OG podcast. Have you heard it yet? It is fantastic. The numbers are moving in the right direction. I can see as we get more and more downloads. Help me get through this to get to the next stage. And you will be part of it, and you can tell your friends you were there from the beginning. The Soccer OG podcast, where podcasts are available, and of course the Soccer OG here on YouTube. Please subscribe on both fronts, and we're going to have a big party. Big things on the horizon. I know I say that all the time, but I really mean it this time. And I'll keep dressing really nice just for you. I'm starting to sweat a little bit with this jacket on. Happy Mother's Day also to all the moms out there here in the United States. And whenever Mother's Day is anywhere else out there, happy Mother's Day to you as well. The dates are different.